Our next guest played 103 games for the Vancouver Canucks, including 23 in the Stanley Cup playoffs, and no one will ever forget the game-winning goal with 19 seconds left, Game 1 of the 2011 Stanley Cup final. It is our pleasure to welcome back to Sekeres and Price, Mr. Raffi Torres. How we doing, Raffi?
So far, so good. Finally, we got this the show on the road here. But thanks for having me on, guys. Appreciate it.
No, thank you for the time, sir. You're a very, very busy guy these days, right, Coach?
I am. Yeah, I'm at the arena a lot all winter long. I usually slow down a little bit in the summertime. Uh, Preferably do I like to do work with kids that are going into contact over the summer. You know, first year contact, just getting an idea of like what it's like to take and give hits and stuff like that, and how to protect yourself. And from guys like me on the ice for sure.
Yeah, nobody better.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
How much you keeping up with the Canucks, and how much you keeping up with the Oilers these days? Played for both teams.
I did. I listen as you know. I always want when highlights are on. It's a little late here for a guy at 43 years old here now. I go to bed early for some reason, but I just can't stay up as much as I used to back in the day. But I do follow what's going on. Obviously, Vancouver had a great year. You know, it's tough not to watch McDavid and Draisaitl. I love watching those guys play hockey. So I'm not saying that I would know 100% in depth about both teams, but definitely got caught game one, which was a pretty interesting game for sure.
Is it pretty charming though to see two of your biggest loves? I'm sure just be by virtue of games played going toe to toe.
100% it is. Listen. I'd be lying to you if I didn't have a favorite. There is a team that has a special place in my heart, an area there. But both teams do hold a lot of great memories and a lot of great relationships with a lot of players and families in my heart.
It was the playoffs are a different beast, and we haven't seen physicality in this series just yet. But there are some guys and some veteran guys. Corey Perry's still around. You remember Corey Perry? Guys like that. What would you say about today's game and the ability to deal with guys if they do cross line? We haven't seen that yet in the series. It's been a pretty skilled series so far. But what do you suspect the Vancouver Canucks could do with a crafty guy like a Corey Perry or even an Evander Kane if he chooses to go down that road?
Yeah, you know what? Like I like Zadorov out there. I think he answers the ball in terms of physicality for the Canucks. It looks like Kaner was involved physically. I don't know. I didn't see much of Perry in the first game. I didn't think, but he's going to be around. He's just one of those guys that he's going to get involved at some point in the series. But yeah, I think with what Vancouver did there, like the pushback and in terms of being down by three goals there, it just kept coming back and the relentless pressure and they're so fast. Both teams are so fast, and it's not like they're going out of you can't go out of your way to make hits. It's more of like angling and separating the man from the puck and stuff. But I just like how Vancouver kept pushing and pushing and pushing, and next thing you know, they're up by one and late in the third there.
What's it like for a player, Raffi, to go on a Stanley Cup playoff run in Vancouver or in Edmonton?
Yeah, both teams are electric. Both fan bases are electric. I tell you right now, I didn't think much of Vancouver's fan base until I played there. And then obviously with the run that we had there was insane. Obviously, the backing of the whole city. It was an incredible place for me to enjoy at that point in my career. I was a little older, right? A few years past the Edmonton run. But like I said, both Canadian markets are extremely, proud of what those teams accomplished. We still talk about it today. I still talk with a lot of people from Edmonton at the charity events that I do, and the first thing they bring up is that those cup runs and with Edmonton and Vancouver.
You had you had some role players on either side of the ledger. You were a big part of the Edmonton run. You had 27 goals that season before you headed into the playoffs. But you guys had some cult heroes, the Fernando Pisanis of the world and others. Yeah. I mean, you never know who's going to take that mantle, right? You mentioned Zadorov. Zadorov's a bit of a cult hero right now, and others have stepped up. It's part of the charm again of the NHL playoffs, right? Who becomes that guy? We've been calling it the X factor, but somebody rises up out of it all.
Even that Patrick Garland there, like that's a guy that I would just love to play against and love to try and put through the wall, right? But I don't think I can catch him, to be honest with you. He's so shifty and he's so dynamic out there, and you don't know what he's gonna do. And I'm just like, how hard would it be to play against a guy like that? And it looks like look what a goal he scored the other night there. So a guy like that stepping up, I can see him being a huge factor for if the Vancouver presses on and moves on. But you're right. When back in Edmonton, we had Pisani. We had Ryan Smith. Alex Hemsky had a big run. Pekka was unbelievable. Didn't have the greatest year when we traded for him, obviously, but I think it was halfway through or at some point. But stepped up the playoffs, and it was just kind of one of those it's going to be me tonight. It's going to be me tonight type attitude teams, right? So
Well, you were a cult hero here, Raffi. Talk about being a fan favorite here in Vancouver.
Yeah, I loved it. I love Vancouver. That's why I was so upset. After the cup run, I had a conversation, my wife and I, with a few higher ups. We talked about this, I think, before.
Yes.
And they, what they said, hey, we loved everything about what you did for this team this year. We're going to bring you back. You're going to be happy. Long story short, didn't work out. But at the end of the day, I loved playing in Vancouver. It was such a special time for my wife and I. You know, Biesca, Luongo, the Sedin, the brothers, Raymond, like all really, really, really good guys that I enjoyed my time there with for sure.
Yeah, we had Mason Raymond on the show the other day, Raffi. He said, there was an unusual tight-knitness to our group in Vancouver in 2011.
Absolutely. Like, I think it was like January or something like that where we had to clinch the playoff spot or something like that. Something ridiculous early, right? And, so I remember being on the road with this team and I'm like, wow, this has the same feeling as being with Edmonton where, it's like you can look at anybody and say, hey, let's do dinner, right? As opposed to I have been on teams where it's a little clicky, right? And it doesn't work, right? When you have that type of culture, it translates onto the ice, and you can see that it just doesn't work, right? So, good, close team that we had there, but I think that's a staple of what the veterans there that they installed before I got there for sure. Obviously,
we had Max Lapierre on the show last week. He talked about the reaction from the fans after he scored the game-winning goal in Game 5 of the Cup final. Of course, you have the same experience after scoring in the late stages of Game 1. Do you remember that night for you and what it was like and the reception you got across the city after scoring that goal?
100%. I felt like I won an Oscar that night. I was. We went for dinner, and I couldn't take one bite without someone coming up, give me a pat on the back, saying "hell of a night." What a great experience for Vancouver and the team here. Like I said, I have the celebratory goal picture, in both my bathrooms in our house. So whenever we have people over, they're gonna go to the bathroom. You're gonna see that picture. Yeah, it's hilarious. Yeah, I'll have to send you a picture one day.
Right? Please do.
Yeah.
The other similarity between the two runs is goaltending, in that you guys have to use goaltending in Edmonton, much like, to a degree, even your Canuck run. Corey Schneider made a start in the Vancouver run, and the current edition of the Vancouver Canucks is now 3 goaltenders deep already in this early junction. Do you remember, the goaltender drama happened behind you as a skater, and did it affect you at all?
Well, with Van, I know Bobby Lou there had a couple. He had a couple rough starts, which is kind of it's going to happen in the playoffs. And Schneider stepped in when he had to. But those guys had a pretty good relationship, if I remember correctly. And it was never that type feeling. Like either way, we knew that what we had back there was going to be enough. We just had to put it out there as a team to see what we can do with it. In Edmonton there.
Rolson and Markkanen both had starts, I think.
Yeah, we lost Rolly in Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals. I don't want to say that's a big reason why we didn't win the Stanley Cup. I think we were winning 3-0 in the first after the second or first period there, and they ended up Rolson got hurt. They ended up we put it wasn't Markkanen that went in, but Conklin, I believe, Conklin went in there, and ultimately we ended up losing that game. I'm not blaming that on the goaltending at all. I think we lost. I think the big reason why we lost that series is we losing that first game. Against Carolina, them coming back from 3-Cobb, right? Big no in the playoffs. This is what I'm a little worried about with Edmonton. You got to give credit to Vancouver though, man. They just kind of the relentless pressure, like I talked about, I couldn't believe it. I was telling my wife, it was like 10:45, 11 o'clock at night. I'm like, you got to watch these games, man. These teams are flying right now, back and forth, great hockey. And, but you got to give, like I said, Vancouver credit. They just kept pushing and pushing. And, that's the big reason why you play 60 minutes out there is there's 60 minutes to get it back, right? They used all of it.
Hey, Raffi, I imagine you could play Rick Tocchet hockey. I would think that Raffi Torres and Rick Tocchet would be a match made in coaching player heaven. What do you think of the style of play that the Canucks have?
Love it. Love it. You look back at a guy like Rick Tocchet behind the bench, you look back at his career, like this guy did it all. He blocked shots with his face, would fight anybody, goes to the dirty areas of the ice. And for me, I think when I had coaches like Mac T, Alain Vignon, guys like that, like they brought the best out of me because they were challenging me and kind of in your face. And it's kind of the way I was raised by my dad growing up. Like, he wouldn't let me go to the bathroom without coming out and saying, hey, did you wash your hands? Did you do that? He's just always in my face testing me and kind of trying to get better. So and I really, really strive. I would love to play for guys like that or a guy like Tortorella. I've heard guys that, he played that, like kind of like my style. And he's just like, yeah, guys like that, he loves, right? So, yeah, I mean, like he's done a great job coming in first year there with the whole coaching staff has done a great job there. And, but you got to give credit to the boys too. They've stepped up after a tough year last year. And look at them now.
Last question here, Raffi. How do you like how do you see the series playing out here with Vancouver up 1-0?
I'll be honest with you. I think it's going to go 7. Okay. And, it's a toss up at 7 there, but you just like right now, how do you not go with Vancouver right now? It's just like, look, they came back from 4-1. It's like for that to me is like, if they steal game 2, I think this could go 6. But I think Edmonton's going to get game 2, and I think it'll be a finish off in Vancouver. And because I'm on the air in Vancouver right now, let's go Vancouver.
It sounds like you're a coin toss in your brain, and that's okay. You're alumni of both, so we understand.
Yeah.
You're a beauty, Raffi Torres. Thank you for the time here today. All the best coaching them kids. Okay. Best to the family as well. And we'll catch up down the road here.
Thanks for having me on, guys. I appreciate it, man. Take care.
Hey, everybody. If you're enjoying what you're seeing here, then follow along with Sekeres and Price on YouTube. I promise more content coming.
The kids call it subscribe on YouTube.
Well, how about liking it?
Do that as well. Smash it right now.